I'm assuming most addicts are like me, and all your regrets are in the people you hurt. And to be able to correct those relationships and change, how they feel about you is possible. And you're not alone. Yeah, my name is Casey Telford. I am the program supervisor at Foundation for Family Life, and mentor work sober living and redwood recovery. I grew up in a really good family, really good home. My parents divorced when I was like, I don't know, 9, somewhere in there. But, I'm not one of those kids that can say, I didn't have parents. I had great parents, great brothers. I had it really good in life. My dad traveled a lot, so there wasn't much accountability, because he was gone 5 days a week. So, not having someone to answer to, I was able to slough school and do those type of things without really getting in trouble. So I probably had way too much freedom for a kid that age. The time I knew that I was an addict, I was probably like 12, and I was sick, and I got a prescription cough syrup medication, and I remember taking it and liking it, how it felt, but it was just kind of that for a long time. And then, about 15, I started smoking pot. So I knew I was an addict. I knew I was a little different than some of my friends, but I made it work. Still, graduated high school. It wasn't really a problem. I had a great job. I was an advertising sales rep, doing really well at it. It wasn't so much causing problems at that point, other than me having a secret and not really being honest. And of course, with pain pills and any opiate, it just keeps building and building. And so something that was easy to manage at first ballooned into, $350 a day in just oxycodone pills. So now I was getting financially strapped and living a lie, and people start seeing it on you. They can tell a difference, but I was, doing pretty well, still being a good father. And so it was easier for people to believe I wasn't using something like that. Then I split with my ex-wife. And so once we split up, I moved into an apartment. She stayed in the house, and I'm now paying for 2 places, and I got this secret habit, and it just became too much. I didn't have enough money to pay for everything. So the natural progression for opiate addicts is to move to heroin because it's cheaper, same effect. And it was about 2 weeks of once I moved to heroin that I knew I was in trouble. My family figured out that's what I was doing. They did the right thing and got my daughters away from me. I really burned my life to the ground. I was homeless. I'll never forget the first night being homeless and what that felt like. So, I had got myself to a point where I knew I wanted out, and I detoxed and got clean. It was just the world kind of aligned, where I was so sick and tired of that life. Once you remove the drugs, you want to right all your wrongs. I wanted my family. I think about my daughters every single day. And that's kind of where the strength was. Really, it came down to, I knew I needed to be sober to see my daughters. And so that's kind of what really drove it in the beginning, when I didn't have much strength on my own. So once I was in drug court, I was in there for probably 6 months, staying sober, thinking, hey, I'm sober, I'm doing really well. But I was still had that 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I didn't really know how mentor works fit into my life. And we had a house manager who, he's the guy who's driving the vans. He's kind of the guy in charge. And I noticed him. I could tell he was using. I saw him through the window a few times in his room smoking heroin. And, you get stuck in that don't snitch, criminal code mentality. You don't think I should say, I was like, I can't say anything. I'm not a snitch. And then there was just at one point where things shifted and I did something that I hadn't done before. And I picked up the phone, I called Parker and Joseph, and I let him know about the guy. And it was kind of in that moment that things shifted for me, that I was now all in on my recovery and no longer willing to enable myself or anyone else to use. And breaking down that barrier was kind of the turning point for me to get to where I'm at today. And so, Joseph and Parker saw a little something different in me and offered me a job, and then it just really started clicking from there for me. When I started working for the foundation, what I quickly realized is even though I've thought so little about myself, my ideas and suggestions were considered and listened to and sometimes used. And so you're a part of something where you can influence change. Being part of somebody else's recovery story, there's just not anything, as far as an addict goes, that's more rewarding. And some days I go home and, I just feel so accomplished and feel so good.